Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Talking Stick Show. So this show is called The Horn of Prevalence Freedom. So Laura, I'm going to bring you in here. What does prevalence mean, and what does the Horn of Prevalence Freedom mean?
So prevalence means plenty of it. And for me, the horn of prevalence of freedom is that horn, that call you get, calling you to find your inner freedom, which you can do by finding your sovereignty.
So
that's what it means to me.
Yes. So there's a story here to link everything. So on the AMSR, Andrew started doing the horn, if anybody was listening, where he was doing the Lord of the Rings horn. So afterwards, I was with my daughter Opal, and we were walking down the river, and it was in the middle of nowhere, this river, woods either side, acres and acres, and we're just playing in the sun and just having a laugh. All of a sudden, this horn, which sounds exactly like the horn of Gondor and Lord of the Rings, that familiar sound, it did it twice and echoed through my soul. And I looked over at Opal, and she went bolt up, like literally bolt up like that, and she looked around. And she was like, "Did you hear that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I heard that. Did you hear that?" So there was a horn. And for me, I'm trying not to figure out what it truly meant and go into many things. What did it mean? Blah, blah, blah. For me, it was a message of freedom, a message of that I'm on the right path, I'm on the right timeline, and I'm where I'm meant to be. I did feel like it was an echo through time. I don't know why. So that woodland and that area, my great-granddad's buried in that woods. And I used to walk that woods as a kid. So there's a huge ancestral connection for me, all linked to that river and woodland. So I do believe it was something to do with my ancestors giving me the message from the past, or blowing the horn when they're going on a hunt, and it echoed through and connected to me. Maybe one of the ancestors on the hunt started doing it, and he knew innately that he was going to send the message forward to me in the future. So that it meant a great deal for me. And obviously, Andrew talked about the horn a few days ago, and it's perfect. The horn of freedom is here. Everyone has a horn, and it's about blowing their own knowing of who they are, making themselves heard. Everyone making themselves heard. Everyone speaking up for what's right, speaking up for themselves. It's time now for people to do that. So I'd like to welcome the co-host today. We have the great Laura Massey. We have Richard Winter, we have Bob Frequency Anderson, and we have the great Amy Kruzic Music. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
So we're going to open. Sorry, Amy, did you want to say something?
No, I wanted to say something until Laura, because I got a visual when she was talking, both of you. It was like a cornucopia.
Yes. Yeah,
that's
I see it too.
Yeah, like the plenty of everything, the abundance we all have within, and sometimes you don't even know it.
Yeah. And
much freedom.
The call is to access that, isn't it? Now's the time to access that, and it's all there for us. And that freedom is there. We just have to realize we're already free.
Yes.
Yes.
Most of us have a perception that just layers and layers that we're not free. And that's what the work is.
Yes.
So just so the audience know, Dale, both Bob and Rich are staying with us at the moment. We've been doing some work together and training them. They've both been on combined healing, and we're all going to be working together in our chronic pain management clinic that will be opening up early January in the south of England. So we will still do the combined and stuff along those lines. But yeah, just like to welcome these guys to the show. Bob's been on before. I think this is Richard's first time, so don't drop him in it, Dale. You.
Yeah, and congratulations, Dale and Laura, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, this is really exciting for all of us, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's all, and so I'd just like to say, sorry, Rich, go ahead. What were you going to say then?
Just very healing, because we've been through the combined and what we've been through today, and it's just wonderful.
Beautiful. Yeah. So I'd like to say as well, so it's 2 years, I believe, roundabout now, and myself and Laura did a first show with Andrew. I believe it was 2 years ago, and Andrew was speaking about on Sunday on the webinar, on the Galactic Tour webinar. And yeah, just from what's gone on, like the last 2 years for me seems like 5 years. I don't know about anybody else, but the last few years seem like 5 years ago. Then someone says it was last year. I'm like, no, it doesn't feel like last year. There's such a time doesn't feel like time when I was younger. When I'm getting older, it feels so different. Does anybody have that similar experience?
Yeah. It's like everything's getting crammed. It's getting compressed.
Yes, yes.
And all these events and everything we're doing, it's like we're compressing them into like a small period of time, which we call. So we are in like no time.
Yeah.
That's it is. We are actually working in Roman numeral time. We're in like the F's. Natural
and it's
time.
speeding up. Do you feel the speeding up?
Yeah.
The speeding up of time.
Yeah, for me, it's because I haven't done anything, and so I've got to do what I needed to do years ago, still now.
Yes. There we go.
I still got to do it but in less time, so that's why.
It's panicking now.
And rewinding and like, so me going into, I've got a medicine journey, ayahuasca journey coming up very soon, and for me, we did the bear hibernation on the webinar on Sunday. And it gave me a perspective that we're coming into winter, we're coming into autumn, and it's about us looking at the past now and seeing the greater challenges, the greater growths we had in the past, and look into a space where we can recover and get ready and rejuvenate and rest. So like even looking back 12 years ago when I first saw Galactic History 1, so my first experience of Andrew Bartzis was I was working in a job I didn't like. I was on the path for a few years. I think it was 2012, end of 2012. And I thought something came into me to type into YouTube Galactic History because I wanted to know the Galactic History because I'm quite an obsessive spiritual person back then. I literally wanted to ball forward and know about what was going on before the Earth and so on. So I put it into YouTube and there he was. I think it was part 12. And so I listened to it all and I was hooked straight away, got a few readings throughout the years and here we are today. And just like to talk about an up-and-coming event as well. We have a very special Galactic History 3.0 coming for you on the autumn equinox. So Joel will have all of the information and link how to sign up. So we just had a Galactic bus tour on Sunday where we went traveling around the universe. It was incredible. Like I left with such a smile and inspired, and Andrew was like, holy shit, that was good. We had over 100 people sign up. We had a lot of attendees. So, Laura, do you want to talk a bit more about Galactic 3.0 coming in autumn?
Yeah, it's going to be, really exciting. And anybody who's listened to the 20 parts, is it, of GH Galactic History 1? And then I think there were 2 parts from memory of Galactic History 2. And we all know Andrew will give yet another perspective. And I think part of it will be us putting questions to him, all of the team here. And everybody knows that if you ask Andrew a question in a certain way, you'll get a really evolved answer. We know that really there doesn't seem to be anybody out there who can answer these sort of questions like he does. He really is, I think all the audience know, he really is a very special person. So I think this is going to be amazing because so much has happened, and I'm sure it's happened galactically in all this time as well. So yeah, it's a really exciting project we'll be doing.
Yeah, and if you want to sign up for the webinar that's coming up in 2 weeks on Sunday, there's going to be a link in the chat in the show description. There's 2 ways to get in. Either you can pay $15 to get into the monthly Galactic History webinars, or if you're a Living the Mystical Life monthly member, you get in for free as well as all the other content. And the price has been lowered to $15 a month. And you'll find that link in the chat as well.
Thank you, Joel.
Thanks, Joel. Wow. Exciting stuff. So we have a call-in show today. So if you do want to call in, the link is in the description. Come into the Zoo room and have a free reading, have a chat with us. So before people come in then, so Amy, have you got anything coming up at the moment with the UCM?
We may have fall class coming up. I'm taking a poll in the community as of the moment to see if we will be doing the counseling class, hypnotherapist class, or the Yoga Alliance class. So those are the 2 choices we will be doing. Yeah.
Outstanding.
And having done the counselling and hypnotherapy class, I can thoroughly recommend it. Because again, David is a completely different teacher.
He is.
Yeah, it's just superb. That his the classes are great fun as well.
It is great fun.
Very much support from the UCM community.
Yeah.
Amy's always there, like in the background or not, just making sure that things happen. So I really do recommend the course.
And let me just give the website now, community.universalcitizentv.com. That's how you can connect with us on that platform.
Wonderful. And also, while we're waiting, I just let you know of an ancestral I have an ancestral medium workshop coming up on 22nd of September, which is 12 p.m. till 4 p.m. East. So if you've ever wanted to speak to your guides and guardians and you can't understand why you can't speak to them, come to the workshop where you'll learn to speak to your ancestors, teams around you. You will also have visits to the hub of interconnectivity, how to set up celestial peace lodges in the North Pole. So it's 4 hours of fun, enabling yourself to speak to your guides and guardians. So join that workshop. Is very cheap as well. On my website, daletobin.com, all the information is on there for you as well. So what are we going to talk about today? Laura, how have things been with you? You've been away. Do you want to let everyone know about your experiences from your ancestral trip? Or
well,
what
yeah. Sure. I'm a really big one for ancestral pilgrimages, and you'll know that's learnt from Andrew. And years ago, he encouraged me to do my family tree. And I have always been very interested, and I grew up in my grandmother's house. So there were always aunties and uncles around to talk to. But I didn't realize how influenced we are by our family and our ancestors as well. And of course, DNA lineage are our ancestors. We have soul family ancestors too. But doing a family tree was really eye-opening. And I really recommend everybody doing a family tree and talking to relatives about things that happened in the past, because it's really important we make their lives relevant now for all the things they've gone through. And most of us here who do our healing and our daily practices know that the changes we make affect our ancestors, that it does the healing forwards and backwards. So it's one of my things to at least twice a year is to go on an ancestral pilgrimage. So I went to a place called Clifton in Bristol in the UK, and I met my cousin from New Zealand, and both our grandmothers grew up together in a house, and we managed to stay next door to that house where that family grew up. We didn't have any particularly weird goings on, let's say. So, but I was able to have a healing with them, which was lovely. And I chatted to them for a while, but it's very much, the feeling is that they have moved on. It's not like you go back there particularly to connect because your ancestors are wherever you are. But one of the reasons for going to the ancestral places where your family have lived is to get some sort of karmic balance. And Andrew's always talking about balancing the energies with the ancestors. So there was no need for ceremony or taking an offering. He used to say to me, you could just go there and go to a local coffee shop or go and have a meal in a restaurant will be enough to take your energies back to bring the balance to your ancestors. So that was the reason for going. And then I went to Wales and the Wye Valley and got some tremendous dragon connection. I'm still processing it, but that's something that I have to talk to Andrew about. And we're doing that. I think we're doing dragon work in Mentorship 3 at the moment. But that we do have dragon webinars out if anybody wants to have a look at those. And I expect we will no doubt do another dragon webinar in the future, Dale.
Yes.
On the card as well. Yeah. So I've just find out who your ancestors were, find out something about them and where they lived, and take a day and go and visit where they lived, just the area that they lived in. You don't have to go around searching for gravestones, but just go to that area and bring them some resolution that they're waiting for.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I would like to share while there's no one in the room. So if you feel called to come in for a reading, we dare you, as Andrew says, chicken shits. So come to the Zoom room for a free reading. So as Laura talks about ancestors, I just want to share with some writing I did. So we had a really rainy week in England, and I was looking out at the rain, and I had that moment where I was inspired to write, and I felt I was a bit ungrounded, and I just needed something to alchemize the moment. And I wrote, right, I need to be creative. I need to get writing. And I'd like to share with you something I wrote while I was pondering and looking outside. So this is called Rain Falling in the Garden. I'm just going to have to put it up because my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. So just breathe and just feel the words without judgment. Be yourself. The rain falls among the freedoms of the land's whistle. The whistle of the land is a sound created within a pattern of frequency of the ancestors. The land holds power portals and many bubbles or ley lines which create different feelings and experiences around the world of Gaia. The rainfall comes from the kiss of Grandfather Sun as its solar activates the raindrops and how they fall on the land to create a balancing of pure resonance. The co-creation experience is available for all those who want to share the prayer grounds with the land's symmetry, to begin to understand the ancestral balancing and how the ancestral balancing can connect and assist one's personal growth to self-balancing within a world impressed with so many polar frequencies. The prayer grounds are an opening to those who want to take it upon themselves to reach the next layer of unknowingness responsibility. So the responsibility becomes known with more creations of the fruition the land weaves with you. The weaver is calling you for a creative state within oneself, where you can allow creativity to be explored within the unremembered selves. The weaver is asked to weave the webs of consciousness alliance to explore the spider's dream weave. Spider comes down on its web of creation and shows its patterns of what it began to create alongside great creation's dreams. Spider calls to you to come into action and begin a webbing within the land you find yourself on. The spider senses bring awareness to that's what's needed in the moment for the co-creation movement to be experienced with the land, so the whistle can be heard within the silence of the trees, the plants, and the ancient ancestors who walked upon the land's glory. Are you ready to set up your prayer grounds in your sacred garden and begin to speak, spider? Or is the rainfall of yourself holding you back? It is time to co-create with the warmth of the sun once again, like the rains of the now as they fall among the land's whispers, creating ancestral balancing towards the fifth world of peace. Aho.
Wow.
Wow, that's great.
That's beautiful, Dale.
Thank you.
Wow.
Just about just thing that just came to me then was obviously different parts of the land anywhere around the world have different frequencies, and obviously some frequencies resonate with you, so you know when you feel at home even though you haven't been there before, you just get that feeling that it feels like you belong there. And places where you have lived before, where you've always lived, the frequency changes because you change. And that's what the spider, it's the dream weave. We change our frequency. So the dream weave changes. So that changes us. So we have to move sometimes. And that's what maybe that was saying. It's it's like obviously different parts of lands, different it resonates differently with different people, and sometimes we have to move and we change because we change as a person. So yeah, that was beautiful. That really resonated with me. That.
How did that feel, Laura and Amy, and Richard, experience-wise?
Yeah, for me, it felt like I needed no map. It was like the ancestors are my map. The spirit of the ancestors are the map of my knowingness. And connecting to that allows me to make that journey of exploration. That's how it just felt really like, wow, it takes out the mind and the ego and all that. It just kind of like, oof, just walk the land.
Beautiful.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, Laura.
Yeah, tell us. It was just so soft and beautiful. Could just, as Amy said, you can just feel that land connection, and just know how everything around you is connected. But what I'd like you to expand on a little is the teaching of the whistle, because you spent the times in there. So tell us about the whistle.
So the whistle is a sound, a noise where the ancestors can create noise which echoes through time, and it can be perceived as a whistle. And the whistle is a point where you're able to tune the frequency of land to what's needed. So the ancestors whistle to you a frequency, what's needed in the moment, to allow the ancestral balancing to come through you as a responsible awareness I am being living on the land, understanding you have an ancestral responsibility to the land. So the ancestors can whistle to you a frequency, what's needed in the moment. But like frogs, when they go and make that noise with their glands, they're basically telling the ancestral energies what's needed in the moment, the rain to come and so on. So there's like a whistle noise the ancestors can do where you can just perceive a whistle. It could be through the trees, through this and that, but there'll be an ambient whistle going through you, so you know that this land is polluted, this land isn't polluted. And the ancestors you can whistle back to them when you've been doing the work. So it's a code of connection point to understand what's needed in the moment. And it's a communication point from ancestor to ancestor. Like the whistle has been so relevant within our time, hasn't it? In movies and so on. The famous one of Titanic with Rose, where she blows the whistle at the end and the help comes. So the whistle obviously is communication as well, but it's also ancestral balancing. So you have the whistle and the people of like Whisper Mountain and so on, who whisper, but sometimes they can whistle as well. So it's all communication guided with a reverence of ancestral balance behind it. So we're all allowing this web of life and web of spider to come through us, and what whistle's needed within the web, because the whistle's coming through the interconnectivity, hub of interconnectivity spider web, that we're all part of this dream weave. We're all part of grandmother spider weaving our own web. So sometimes people's whistles can't be heard because they're that much in fear, they're that worried, they're that scared, or they're that angry that they have a resonance where they are not part of this web of interconnectivity. So listening to the whistle of the land is just an observation point of hearing the land's whistle, hearing the ancestors speak to you, what's needed for balancing now.
So it's like an awareness whistle then, isn't it? The more aware you are of your surroundings in your ancestral energy. And
yes.
So the whistles come to you now as one of your next levels of awareness.
Like the horn coming to you. So the horn awareness, the whistle awareness, the Whisper Mountain awareness. So I'd like to share a dream I had. So it was at Laura's son's house, Matthew's, he's built this house, which is incredible. And it's got such ancestral balancing energy there. Like it's wonderful you can create with. And so basically I stayed over and I had this dream where I was in like a cafe, and there was a guy and he looked slightly Persian, but not. And he turned around and looked at me and he started talking. And I woke up in the dream and I realized that there was something going on here. And I said to him, "Are you one of my guides?" And he said, "No, I'm not. My name's James Bleach and I'm an ambassador of Whisper Mountain." And all of a sudden I woke up in the dream and I got slight bit of nerves. But sometimes when I wake up in dreams, I'm fine and I can speak to ancestral spirits. But for some reason in that time, I got a bit kind of like, whoa, like I thought he was just going to be one of my guides and guardians. He just came out with my name. I'm James and a Bleach from Whisper Mountain. I'm an ambassador. I'm not your guide, but I'm an ambassador of Whisper. And all of a sudden he went off. Then I spoke to him and he was talking about bringing myself through in a whispering way. And that my part of me of the whisper needs to be explored, and going through certain, he was even talking about social medias, what social medias to do it through. Like he was talking about TikTok. It was hilarious. And then he talked about Bob and started going on about Bob's journey and his discipline and schedule. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm talking to this guy here. And then he started speaking to me through a radio, like whispering through a radio, politely hear everybody was talking. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So there was that experience of me perceiving, because I had a problem AMSMR, like I really did, because so when I was younger, I never went, like I wanted to do musical instruments, I wanted to do singing, but my parents didn't want me to do it. There was always a stopping me from doing it. So now me exploring my voice, like going from high to low, like I've been learning a lot high light language now and low light language and so on. So it's all, and just going back to everything, like you were saying, the whistle and the horn, it's just all about knowing that you are part of everything, having the truth, knowing that the unseen world is there, smiling, knowing it's there, knowing that you've got an unseen team around you, and start training yourself. When you close your eyes, speak to your dragon, see if you can bring them into your knowingness. When one comes into your knowing, another does. So there's a point where I close my eyes now, I can see around about 14 different beings, dragon, whale, loads of butterflies. Everyone can do this. It's just about having a trust what's there. And there is a trust there. And don't get me wrong, I have doubt. I've got slades of doubt in my field. This is my inner work to do. But everyone can do this. And to see Laura, Bob, Richard, Amy, and all of you elevating yourself, because you elevate me, like all of you do. We give each other shit. We roast each other, but it's just we're all part of this journey together, moving forward on the horse. Does anybody else want to add to that? And like learning from everyone, like Amy with a voice, fantastic the way she presents herself. Like we can learn so much from each other, like parts of ourselves which need to be worked on. And that's what I'm doing. Like psychic surgery for me, I can do it with my eyes closed, asleep. I love it. But other parts of my life and areas where I need to balance now, like tightrope walking. So as you're walking on the tightrope, you've got to find balance everywhere. So yeah, does anybody want to talk about balance and exploring parts of themselves where they're a bit afraid of doing it and how important that is? Does anybody want to add in there?
Yeah, I'd say the transitional period. I think we're all in like a certain transitional period. Me especially with like manual work, that physical work, which I've done for years with my own business. And then now it's just, when I first started, when I was 18 years ago, I loved it. It was me taking responsibility for work and doing all the stuff and having no one to rely on. And then now it's not, it's about being part of a team and changing that dynamic and doing the stuff that I enjoy, which is healing and working with a team, doing the energy work. And obviously, so this is a massive period for me of like transition, going from this manual physical thing, which I absolutely loved when I was 18 years ago, setting up businesses and providing for a family and having all material things and all the things that provided with a business. And then now it's like I'm part of a team and I want to be part of this team and to progress. And like I say, a new chapter in my life.
So we've got to work. What are you saying? We've got to all work together. Like yes. Bob has come in and learned how important working as a team is. Amy's part of the team. Laura, Richard. I want to bring Amy into this. So what has it been like for you from your journey and coming in part of our team, part of the Galactic Historian team and so on? What has it been like for you going through that journey, Amy, of understanding the importance of working together?
Yeah. I always worked best with a team, but by myself, no, because we kind of need, you kind of, sometimes for me, I needed that confidence, right? And so you guys are great at giving that confidence, like, okay, and then I can snap right into it. But isn't that funny how sometimes if you just give me permission, that's been my biggest block that I've had. Now my training wheels are off, and now I can do it on my own and have that confidence. But yeah, so what else was your other question?
It was just coming onto the team, working together, and how important that is for spiritual growth. Yeah.
And another thing for me, so I went from being, raised Catholic to now doing the spiritual thing, which I needed that from all of you. And now I can go back and blend the two together because I still have that connection with my Catholic faith, with Jesus and Mary and the saints. And I can blend that with my prayers, where I was just focusing on the spiritual because I needed to do that. And now I can, embrace that again, not enter into the dogma of it, but just do it as I feel to do it. And it's really like, it's that freedom, the horn of freedom for me.
There we go.
It's like
give us a horn, Amy. Go on.
Yes, I wish I had a cup here. I could. Yeah. So what was really cool for me? So next week I am going on a pilgrimage like Laura, and I'm headed to Quebec City. And in Quebec City, this is so synchronistic because my friend told me you have to go here. And I already had made plans. Like, oh my God, how did you know? And so there's a holy door. There's only 7 holy doors in the world. And the one, it's hermetically sealed for 25 years. So this year is when they're going to open the door. And when you walk through the door, it's like a symbolic act of leaving things that you would like to leave behind, like sadness, resentment, anger, and you become a new, better person, like you walk through that door. So doesn't that feel more spiritual than it does Catholic, even though it's the Notre Dame? And it's like, oh my gosh. So, and of course, all the grounds around it, I heard are very like portals there. So I'm excited, but yet I'm nervous about it. It's like I'm preparing, but I'm also preparing my prayers forward.
Yes.
Yeah. And doing that. I'm sure you do that, Laura, and just telling them I'm going to be there. And I don't care if I have to stand in line for 3 hours. I'm going to walk through this door, So
I'm doing it. Amy's like, I'm doing it. God damn it.
I am doing it.
I'm sun or rain. I'm there, girl.
Yeah. But it's like the traveling up, and we're driving. So we're driving up and just enjoying the moment of all that. And if I need to stop somewhere along the way, I'm going to stop somewhere along the way. Like if there's a piece of land, in upstate New York, I drive through New York into Canada. So I don't know. It's kind of open, but yet it's kind of, I'm kind of like, it's not an agenda. What would it be? It's like not even a schedule. I don't know what you would call it, but what would you call that? I don't know.
Pilgrimage.
A pilgrimage. I guess I've never been. This is my first one.
A place you're gonna go out and you're gonna return a different person. The person left will be a person different coming back.
And you'll watch for all the synchronicities, Amy, things that happen. I mean, we had, my cousin and I and ours had plenty of synchronicities and just strange things that you wouldn't think would happen. And it's just, it's wonderful because I do prayers forward and I do let them know, but I found they already know your thoughts.
Yeah, it's probably more for me, But what's cool is like, I have my dad's rosary, and so I'm taking that with me because he wants to come with me so I'm taking his rosary and a crystal. I haven't asked which crystal wants to go with me. I'm going to leave it there somewhere on the grounds. And like things like that, it's kind of fun to plan. It's kind of fun with, You're
going to take a bottle of piss?
Oh, should I?
Yes, definitely. Yes. Take a small bottle of piss and see if you can spray a bit sneakily on the floor.
What? Are you kidding? You're kidding.
Laura, do you want to come in with a piss? Laura's had many piss experiences. Laura.
What? What is this?
That was
There's 2 bars outside the street.
many years ago. Andrew was talking about combating the system by pouring your wheat over banks and places like that. So yes, I did that in the early days. I haven't taken it on an ancestral pilgrimage yet. I don't know how pleased they would be with a
Amy spilled it. She's like, "What's that stinking piss?"
Oh, that's hilarious.
I've not done that from I don't think I'd like to offend them that way.
No, I don't think. Let me take some other beautiful lavender water. How about that? Lavender water. Oh my gosh. That would be funny. But yeah, it's exciting and a lot of change is happening. I feel as though this is gonna be something for me, and not to you know, like you did with the horn, like not try to figure it out. Just I know that I have to go.
It takes time. I've only been back a day, and it takes a few days to unravel it all, Amy, and
Yeah.
sit with the different energies of it.
So when you said that, Amy, was when you said not being in the future, not being in the like a charge point, because when I experienced that horn, like when I was with Opal, I was like laughing and I was thinking to myself, this is the best day I've had in a long time. And I was smiling and I had so much joy. And I was literally laughing my head off at her. And I was in such a relaxed, joyful space that it was the best day for me. Even though I say that about most days with my kids, I was like, this day is fucking incredible. And I was letting go and I wasn't thinking spirituality. I was just laughing and having fun. And that horn came through. And it realized to me that sometimes to experience those different states, we have to just let go. And we have to just enjoy the fullness of joy and happiness, experiencing our ancestors without trying to come in with an agenda. Oh, they're going to show me this, they're going to show me that.
No.
Then you'll have a blocked experience where they'll come in and tap you and that's it. And said, yep, sucker.
Yeah. And it's kind of cool because I am going to go through the door on my birthday. So it's kind of like, wow, like the birth of myself and then the rebirth, you know, and that's about all I'm thinking of really is just a birth and a rebirth. I'm not going to, you know, go into anything like, oh, what's going to happen? Oh, what do I feel? I'm just going to, you know, let it all go. Just do a visual.
Yes. Let it all go. So did Laura, Amy, do any of you want to read out any of your prayers? Because we don't have anyone wanting to come and have a reading at the moment. So the Zoom link is in the description. If you do want to come in, have a free reading, have the opportunity, join the link, come onto Zoom and come have a chat with us. We don't bite.
Yeah.
We would just ask Richard how he feels now.
Yeah. Good idea, Laura. Yeah, go ahead.
As part of the team and how, you know, we've talked about this, haven't we? The soul family reunion. How does it feel for you? Because you've lived and worked on your own for quite a while, and now we're seeing more of you, and we all get together here. Bit crowded,
bit crowded,
but it's
cozy. A lot of phallus, many a phallus.
It's fun, isn't it? And what are you learning from it? Do you think?
Learning from it,
yeah. And how is the experience?
Well, you know,
for you?
like Bob, you know, it's necessity. Work is necessity. And although I've enjoyed it and I enjoy meeting the customers and everything from, you know, building work, it's nice to be part of a team where you're doing something. Well, I'm doing something that I really enjoy. You know, what could be better than healing with people who are into healing and just pushing consciousness forward, understanding yourself. I mean, it's perfect for me. I love it.
Well, the thing is, you know, we have that responsibility, as Andrew's always saying, equal to our level of awareness. And what you're doing is you're stepping up and you're saying, I'm going to be responsible to my level of awareness and I'm going to do something about it. So I'm going to learn.
Yes.
Yeah, doing and so on and working with Dale and I and doing like a mentorship with Dale and I. Working with Bob as well. So you're saying, yes, I'm up for it. I want to evolve my soul and you know, learn and take my journey forward. And I think there's people in life now who really want to do that. And it's becoming more evident who wants to do that inner work, wants to do the daily practice without being zealot about it, you know, without the overuse of spirituality, but to heal themselves, which is always what it's about, to bring themselves to balance at this time. And in doing that, they're helping everyone. They're helping their ancestors. Particularly, they're helping people around them, because once you raise your own consciousness and you take responsibility for your own healing and bringing yourself to balance, you affect those around you positively, which is what it's about at the end of the day, taking ourselves forward. So this is the time, isn't it? Soul family reunion, soul families coming together, working as groups, individually and as groups, because as in this sort of field of cooperation, we can really take healing forward.
I'm really looking forward to it, because I just think we'll have so many ideas, and we all can bring something different to the table, and we all have our like unique skill set, let's say. And yeah, I've got some great ideas myself, which I just want to get involved and get excited with it. And I say that's the beauty of this. Is all new. This is stuff we're going to be doing in the next year, couple of years is new. There isn't many people doing this. What we'll be doing, like obviously the mainstream, the massage and the cranial sacral and that, but the combined where we're going to bring in the tools. What we've got, the mats and the lights and the psychic surgery towards that, which is going to clear people's energies, people's ancestral energies, which obviously the awareness, they don't know what's going on. And obviously people will come with back pains and they'll just want a massage for the back pain. Yes. And the fact is, we could do so much more with using the Lucia light technology and the psychic surgery and the tools we can do and clear them back pains, because it's in their energy field. Their energy field is just as important as the physical field. Yeah. And this is going to come to light more in the next couple of years. People are going to realize there's two sides to everyone: the energy field, the physical. Yes. And by working on the energy field, you're going to clear all the ailments in the physical. That's the beauty of what we're going to be doing. Beautiful. And that's what I'm looking forward to be part of. So yeah.
So as Bob was speaking, we had 3 people just pop into the room. Yes. So those in the Zoom room, hello and welcome. So if you'd like to come on, raise your hand. So if you hit the reaction button, put on the raise your hand, and we'll get you to come in for a chat and a reading. So the reaction button's below, I believe, and just raise your hand. There we go. We have Judy raising the hand, so giving you signal to unmute, Judy.
Hi.
Hey, Judy.
Judy.
Hey, Judy.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Calgary, Canada.
Welcome to the show. So how are things going for you?
Things are okay. They're not great. I have really bad back issues. So I'm in a lot of pain. And I'm tired of it. I need to get rid of it.
How long have you been in pain for?
Oh, feels like 100 years.
100 years. So whereabouts in the back is the pain?
My lower back mainly. I have a spine that actually bends, like the tailbone is bent, and then where it connects at the spine, it bends back the same direction. And I had it x-rayed last year and didn't really find chiropractic stuff working, because I could have a chiropractic session done, and by the time I got to my car after leaving his office, I'd be back in the same amount of pain again. So I quit doing that.
So the irony, what we were talking about, PEMF therapy, are you familiar with PEMF therapy?
No.
So electric pulse magnetic therapy. So PEMF is basically, it's electromagnetic frequency, which pulses to a natural healing resonance, and it brings a body into a natural healing state. It is really, really good for chronic pain. So I had an experience last week, different to yours, but I had a really bad back below that. I was in pain, and I went on 2 sessions of the mat. After 2 hours, the pain went down 80%. So my advice to you is to go see someone who does PEMF therapy, electropulse magnetic therapy, where you can have regular sessions of going on the mat, reducing your pain by 80%. That's going to be very important for you to just get out of pain. That's one of the most important things here for you.
Thank you.
Or even, Judy, if you can afford it, to buy yourself a mat and that. And obviously, they are quite expensive, but there is some deals out there, and it's brilliant. I have one at home, which I use on a regular basis, and it's obviously, even if you haven't got any ailments, it's good for relaxation. It's good for all sorts of different other ailments and that, and just for grounding, and just for obviously on a nighttime settling before sleep. Good for sleep patterns. Good for everything. So there's a lot of things that can help you with one of them mats, and that's definitely for your back. That'll really, yeah, you're good.
Sorry, Judy, it's Laura here. I think the most important thing for you at the moment is to get out of pain. So what do you do for pain relief?
I try peppermint oil, and I've been doing a bit of myofascial release. But I mean, the other day, a couple of nights ago, I took, and I don't normally take it. I haven't taken any codeine in like 8 or 9 years, but I took 2 Tylenol 3s and 2 muscle relaxants, and I had no pain for that night.
Okay. So have you been to the doctor?
Not in a while, about my back. I mean, I had seen them a long time ago. But I don't think, like, I've asked my doctor for like even a sleep pill, and he refused to give me a sleeping pill.
So,
sorry.
When was the last time you went to the doctor? A year ago, did you say?
No. I was at the doctor a couple months ago.
Okay, and what have they said about your back specifically? What are they going to do to help you along that journey?
Well, I asked him about physio. I have like probably $9 in my bank account right now. So and I've used up about all of the money I can access. But I'll be getting some in from the government on back taxes owed to me.
So my advice would be to go back to your doctor and just start explaining the seriousness more, and see if you can speak to someone else or see another doctor, because it's very important that you get this looked into properly. As for pain, are you able to get cannabis where you are?
Oh yeah, it's legal here in Calgary, but
there's a way where you can deposit it up the anus, where basically you don't get high, but it gives you pain relief for 2 days. So I'd look into those. What are they called? Does anybody know the name of what they're called? The way you put them up, the depositories.
I know what you mean.
Depositories,
Yeah, that's it. So you can get cannabis depositories. Highly recommend getting those, because they don't get you high, but they give you pain relief for days upon time. So if you can find somewhere what does that, you're going to be you'll be out of pain for those 2 days. But the PEMF therapy is very important. And just, Amy, do you want to add anything to this as well?
Yeah. So Judy, do you work, or are you on compensation?
I have no income. I don't work. I was taking care of my mother for 4 years. She had dementia, and so I've taken a year now, just for me to unwind from the tension from taking care of her, because it was pretty tense.
That could take a toll.
Yeah,
That can really take a toll on your body, on your mind.
Yeah, because like I was at an ashram for a while before I came and moved in with my mom to take care of her. I came home from the ashram pretty much unconditional love, and then she just seemed to beat the shit out of me. And I'm sorry to say that. Please forgive my language, but so abusive in so many ways. And I would not say that's due to the dementia. She was always not on, like, I wasn't the favorite daughter, right? So,
So we were just talking about ancestral stuff, weren't we?
yeah.
With the back. Not sure what the lower back means for that. Do you guys know?
It feels like there's some sort of unresolvement within her.
Yeah.
Like an unresolvement pain, which
Lack.
is lack of self, lack of consciousness. Have you got what diet are you on?
Trying to eat what I can right now because I literally had $16 in my bank account. And now because I subscribe to this now.
Subscribe and use your last dollars when you can't eat.
Well, I have chicken in my fridge and I have 2 vegetables, and a bit of fruit. So I have a little bit of food.
Judy, what help can you get from the government?
I don't think I can get any right now.
Have you looked into it?
No.
Well, that will be your first port of call before like doing any sort of spiritual stuff, is to get you balanced in this physical world first, regardless of how this back pain has come about, whether it's ancestral trauma or anything else. You sound to be in a great deal of pain. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself to the doctors. Find out over in England, we have like a social services. I'm not sure what you would call it in Canada. Amy might have a better idea than I do. But there's got to be some avenue of help you can get for yourself if you pursue it and tell them that you're in a great deal of pain. I do know that things we will call it like diazepam over here. There are like a small amount of antidepressant is also a relaxant. I do know we use that sometimes over here. And I think you said you did take something as a relaxant, which can ease that pain. You might also inquire whether there's places that would give you free sessions. So now and again, for my craniosacral therapy, which is another thing that would really help your pain, your back, is I would give a free session for somebody who is really in dire straits, as you seem to be. So it might be worth just a few phone calls, phoning round, seeing who would do that for you, explain your situation. Nobody wants to see another human being in pain, Judy. No decent human being wants another human being to suffer like that. So the first thing is to get yourself out of pain, because making sensible decisions is difficult, isn't it, when you're in a lot of pain?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It takes away the good reasoning, because all you can think of is getting out of pain. So getting out of pain is your absolute priority.
Also, you might, well, it depends on what's going on with your back, but what about physical therapy? That seems to work. They take, you go through a series of exercises and they assess your back. They're really good. For me, I go and it just seems to work for me. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people don't like to do the exercises. Some people don't like to, they give up,
I asked the doctor if I could get some free physiotherapy, and I told him that I have no money, and he said he didn't know of anything that was doing anything like that. He didn't know of any government programs.
Yeah.
So
sometimes the universities. Oh, sorry, Dale.
No, go ahead, Amy. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say, like, some of the university hospitals around here, they take patients in that, like yourself, can't afford it, and they use their what would you say, students, or with a doctor. You
Right.
could try that. If there's a university hospital, it's like a teaching hospital.
Right.
You could look
I'm
into
not
that.
sure if there is. I'll check though.
Yeah, check.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Dan.
And so when have you got your next money coming in? Where
It'll
would
be
you?
within about 10 or 12 days.
Okay, so my advice as well is to go to a butcher's and see if they've got any cheaper cuts of meat, and start to make broths where there's loads of bone in there, there's loads of protein, there's loads of fats, because currently at the moment your body's in full shutdown survival, and while you're going through everything, you need the energy to actually start looking out there and finding a solution for this, because there is a solution out there, but because you're in such a survival mode where it's like stuck energy, you're not seeing it. But there is going to be ways for you to get the right help. There will be free help out there. You've just got to do the researching, but you right now have to start eating, and you have to start eating again, building your energy to actually find someone who can help you. Speak to your doctors in such a way that I need help right now. I cannot live like this. What you're doing and offering me isn't working, and I want to speak to someone else or ask for another opinion. You're going to have to start bringing some of that energy into you, and you're going to have to eat to bring that energy to you, because when you go in there and you're not eating you off chicken, which it has a lot of fat, but not enough fat what you need throughout the day. You need other meats in there as well. So go to the butcher's, figure out a diet which is affordable, but have loads of protein, loads of fats, loads of soups in there with broth, bone, and so on, which is really cheap, just so you get nutrients coming in you again.
Okay. I have been taking organic chicken broth that I got at Costco.
Yeah. So get some beef as well.
Yeah.
Get some beef bones.
Yeah,
Okay.
make your own's going to be cheaper long term, and you can freeze some too.
Yeah.
Beef or chicken. And really cook down those bones.
Yeah.
7 or 8 hours.
That's a long time.
And as you're doing the broth and the soup, what I want you to do is just put some of your prayers in there, your love, and you building yourself up again. Put the prayer of finding someone to help you with the back pain, or someone who could potentially lead to helping and fixing it. Just a potential. Just start putting prayers in there. Love who you are. Remind yourself that you are love, and you are this lovely person. All of that kind of flowery energy needs to be opened in you at the moment, reminding yourself of that. But it's hard because you're in pain. So my advice, if you can get the cannabis or any sort of anything really for the moment to get you out of that pain.
Well,
even if it's
magic mushrooms.
Magic mushrooms won't get you, won't be the one for you. Do not take magic mushrooms at the moment. When you're in a better state and so on, then you can take them. But right now, magic mushrooms will turn against you. Not in a negative, bad trip way, but it just won't be beneficial for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's focusing on the physical right now for you, Judy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, Laura.
So I was going to say, as Amy said about contacting trainees, you could contact whatever is the equivalent of craniosacral therapy practice over there. And they do training sessions, and often they look or will take on people to practice on. So you'll have he's practicing on you.
I'll look for some teachers then.
Yeah, because even the massage therapists need people to train on, like when they're in that school. Even check out that. Yeah, and it's like $25, something like that. They don't charge a lot at all.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like taking control of your sometimes when you need that motivation of like, no, this is for me. I need to stand up and speak to my doctor in a certain way that you've been doing. It's almost slow. I'm important. I need to stand up for myself now, and I need to speak in a way that they're going to hear me.
Right.
I think you lost a lot of yourself in doing all that for your mum.
Yeah.
And somehow along the way you've lost Judy and what Judy needs, and Judy definitely needs it now. So don't let it get any worse before seeking help, Judy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your first priority, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Agree.
Pain,
and
pain is
Eating well, eating well, just getting plenty of protein.
Even if it's a short term where you have to take some tablets to get you out of pain, but don't take them for a long period of time, because obviously they become addictive. But anything what gets you out of pain is going to be important, and going to see professional advice from a doctor regularly. And it's about you not being spineless, and that's not it. So now you're speaking from the core of who you are when you speak to the doctor, and he'll look at you in a different way, because to him, you're just another person coming in. But if you start bringing you through and start saying, no, this is not right, I'm standing up for myself, I need help and I need it now, because what you're doing is not working for me. I need to be out of pain. I need someone to look at my back, potentially surgery, potentially not, who knows, but I need more opinions, because I can't live like this anymore. And you're just getting me to go without helping me. That's the energy you have to bring on to the next doctor's appointment.
Yeah. Or go to another doctor, Judy.
Well, I just changed doctors, so
you just changed.
Long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
because my doctor was not listening to me.
Yeah.
No matter what I said to him.
So you got to find that oomph inside that says, no, I am important enough to be healed through this pain. This pain is too much. It's too much for me. And it's your spirit is breaking.
Yeah.
So as well, Dennis has messaged in the chat and offering energy session free for you. So if you want to message Dennis privately and get his details, he's offering a session for you as well. And Dennis is trained in psychic surgery with myself. So there's a free session there for you as well, just to give you some help.
Okay, so I'm not
just to split.
Where the chat is.
So the chat should be on your right-hand side.
It's not showing up.
Okay, so his name's Dennis Baldwin. Baldin, sorry, on Facebook. Have you got Facebook?
I do. Give me just a second here.
Yeah, do you want to write it down?
Yeah. Okay, so Dennis.
So Dennis, DENIS space BOLDIN.
Okay.
And you'll see. So he lives in Germany.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank
there you go.
Dennis.
So thank you, Dennis. Thank you for. So thank you, Judy. Any last questions for any of us?
Okay, so I'm gonna have to move pretty quick here too. I'm gonna have to get city housing. Anything for that?
What, as in you're going to have to find a new home?
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Have you been living with your mum then?
Well, my mom went to my sister's a year ago, but my sister wants to sell the house. She doesn't want me here anymore. She wants to sell the house because she needs money. My nephew needs money because he wants to buy a house of his own. And my sister is she's the head of my mom's business stuff going on before she passes away. So I have no option. I have to be gone.
So who owns the house? Your sister owns the house, or your mother?
My mother owns the house, but she's total dementia right now. So my sister wants to put her into a home.
Well, you haven't got the energy at the moment to battle any of that, I don't think.
Yeah, no, you don't.
So I don't know in Canada what your options are for housing. Only you would know that.
It'll be Calgary housing, so.
Okay. Well, better a roof over your head than not.
Yeah.
And so getting out of pain, that the most important thing, eating again, and start writing like pen and paper. start writing prayers, start writing about change within you, and change who you want to be, the future you want to be earning again, and so on. So start writing and start creating prayers for yourself. And there's all of the information of all the videos we've done, 2 years we've done of literally, we've talked about pretty much everything, I feel, on the Talking Stick Show and Andrew's shows over the last few years. So if you go back in the archives, you've got just hundreds and hundreds of videos about topics you can learn from and so on. So there's stuff out there for free, pen to paper, maybe do some drawing, some artwork. But firstly, more important, get out of pain, go see your doctor. That's the first thing to do there. Then everything will come afterwards, and you'll have more clarity, and ring in the show again as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Let us know what happens. Have you got any other family around you, Judy?
It's basically just my sister.
Right. And friends?
I have one really good friend. I have the best friend in Calgary, one in Germany. And yeah, I have another friend in Calgary, but only the best friend in Calgary is the one that I'm really close to. She's my spiritual family.
Okay, ask her to help you.
Yeah.
Yeah, ask for help.
Yeah, make sure you ask for help.
You know, like, I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a healer too. And I mean, I was talking to a guy at Income Tax last week, a couple days ago. And he said to me, he goes, "You're just sending me energy galore." And it's like, it just happens. It just flows. You know, I don't know if, because I'm not intentionally sending it to him, but because I was doing healing work since '98. But yeah, so it just.
Well, you need to intentionally send that to yourself.
Yeah.
Not in control of your energy field if it's just flowing out, because this is part of the reason why you're losing some of your life force to others in unawareness. So it's starting to be really aware and responsible of your energy field and keeping it for you. And as a healer, you'll know how to do that.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for calling in, and call in a few months' time.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All the best.
Thank you, Judy.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Judy.
So if anybody would like to come on in the Zoom room, just raise your hand. We've got a few other people in. If you want to come in for a reading, the reaction button, and just press raise your hand and we'll come on. So interesting. Also, Dennis, perfect. So we'll get Dennis Baldwin giving you the signal to unmute to come on.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Dennis.
Hi, Dennis.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. The start of the show was so peaceful. I really didn't want to disturb your conversation. I felt like like so relaxed. It was amazing. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what's going on with Dennis then?
So Dennis is getting more grounded. I listened to your advice and I tried to get a bit more grounded. And it's just a struggle between like making the fun stop to actually be more grounded, but without making the fun stop. So it's kind of a journey for me to discover when I'm actually going through illusions and when I'm actually like in my body. So what is going on?
So when you're going into delusion mode, you're out of your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why it was so important for you to have a schedule of joining the gym, having a 3D life. And that 3D life is just as important as a spiritual life for you at the moment. Remaining grounded in your body, knowing there's a naughty Dennis inside of you, which will try and take you away from doing the grounding stuff, having long walks, learning jogging, just learning the art of being present in the body and observing yourself. How much am I in the body? So at the moment, as I read you, you're 45% in the body.
Wow.
So there's another 55% of you not in the body. That's how out of body you are on a regular basis. And this is why it's going to be important for you to go through scheduled, disciplined training where you hold yourself accountable day to day, even potentially running marathons. That could be a potential for you.
Wow.
You're gonna progress spiritually. There's going to be a bigger spiritual progression for you waiting for you when you start mastering the art of it. Jiu-jitsu, kung fu, martial arts, anything where you can actively be in the body, because you've done a lot of spiritual work, you've done great work, but for you now it's all about the 3D for you. Remain grounded, remain focused, and not overwhelmed, not overthinking.
Yes, I mean, I spend my day on my bike when I work, so this is already helping me with grounding and getting more into the 3D reality. But it's just still difficult to know whenever I'm grounded and to actually get grounded without being obsessed about getting grounded. So it's just a little like a mission that I have for now. So it's getting easier because I started working out since you told me to work out, and yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Yes, but you've got to continue that for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months.
Yes.
Then you've got to go see someone to do myofascial or rolfing to start unraveling yourself a bit as well. Get some of the stress going on, because you hold stress so much into your core, like round your tailbone, your feet. It's just like a hardening, like a kind of like elastic band hardening. But that's all the obsession. That's all of the stored negativity of overthinking and so on, just being dumped in you all the time. Like I'd say it's an adrenaline dump, because you produce adrenaline a lot of times during the day. That adrenaline has to go somewhere. So it gets dumped into your legs, get dumped into your fascia, and it ends up becoming concrete. So you need to start stretching, shaking, and moving and dance. Go to a dance group.
Yes. Well, I'm going tomorrow since you told me to go. So
Yes.
I'm excited to start this new adventure, because I can't flex. Like, I'm not flexible at all. Like, I've been flexing for a little bit of time, but I'm still really far from getting anywhere. But it's very fun, because as soon as I get into my grounding work and my workouts, I feel myself becoming like me before. Like, I can feel the old emotions, like and not just being like in a tripping state. So it's like encouraging me every day. So it's getting better.
And stay away from medicine journeys, LSD, and mushrooms, everything. Stay away from it.
Yeah.
You've got to focus on the 3D now. And like I said, in the future, ayahuasca's there for you. But I'd only advise you to do ayahuasca if you had a grounded journey for 4 months.
Yes.
And you weren't doing other things to get you ungrounded.
Okay,
So
great.
Dennis, you can produce like natural DMT in your body by doing some breath work. Do you do breath work at all?
Yes, I love Wim Hof breathing, because I can feel myself like pulling through reality, and actually I can like see the stretching of the illusions like breaking in front of me as soon as I go into a breathing situation. So this was really like the help to bring the trip back to reality. So yeah, it's been amazing to discover this. It's always been the biggest awakenings as I go into breathing. Like you said, like a couple of days ago, that as soon as you do breathing, you feel like you're back on track. And as soon as you said this, I started doing breathing again, and it's exactly like this, like you said. I feel way better, and I can breathe normally throughout the day. So it's way better now.
Dennis, can I ask you why you go into delusions?
I
Is it
mean,
an avoidance of something?
I mean, the thing is that I don't. The reason why is that I just find it fun. Like, I'm always having fun. I'm always smiling, and it's very hard for me to stop like having fun, because I realize that I'm an illusion. So that's how my shards trick me, because like they make me think that something is fun, so I laugh, but then I go into an illusion. So they told me like a couple of days ago that I created like a shard. There was from when I was small, and there was so much control around me that I basically went into some fantasy realms about how my future life is gonna be, and so a big shard was created, and so it's kind of like the main shard that keeps on coming back. So I'm learning about it. So it's way funnier, but yeah, it's just a long way to go through all these shards that went to the place of where the entities were in my nervous system. So it's just a cleaning out like a journey. So it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So if you're in the 3D life, when you get grounded and you're there, what's your ambition? What makes you?
Honestly, it's doing like art, just expressing myself and doing what I always wanted to do, which is open a business and post on social media and actually like go far into this whole thing without actually going back. Because as soon as I have a plan and I do something when I said I was gonna do it and I do it all day every day, then I'm really happy and everything is going great. But as soon as I start like stopping and then doing some other things that put me on a bad track, everything comes back to this old habit pattern. So it's really like a balancing thing that I have to find, because it's very easy for me to go into high frequency states, but yeah, sometimes like the old patterns very quickly put me down on the tension state when I'm in a high frequency.
So art grounds you then? Does art ground you?
Yeah, for sure, because I can feel free. I can feel like the freedom flowing out of me. So I can feel my brain going fast without going into illusions, and that's what I actually need, because I really need everything to be fast. And as soon as I try to slow down, I go into a weird state, and if I fasten too much, I go into illusion. So it's the perfect way to keep my parasympathetic lower and sympathetic a bit higher, which is giving me hope, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Dennis, I'm just reading you now. You're right, because obviously you've done the psychic surgery course, because I was on the course where you want you. So what you need to do is start doing the psychic surgery on yourself and working on them lower chakras and working on your tailbone, and that way you're storing some of this like energy which is trapped, this stuck energy. You have to just go inside yourself and maybe do this for the next couple of months and just work on doing a bit of shadow work and figuring out when these old yous are in there and try and release them, and going back in time and just going back to your old self and having these conversations with yourself, and try and clear it and try and work on. So it's like, so you can release it from you. I think that's what's needed, is just, yeah, you're storing all these old yous, and you just need to get rid of them and just start working on them. So
yeah, so you think that if I go to the dark moments of my life, that I won't go back into a negative state? That you think that it's time for me to do this?
no, what you can do is you can use the tools of maybe going to a fire ceremony, take yourself back to a sacred fire when you've got your guides around you, and use that, and then speak to this whatever age you are. I mean, it came up for me when I did a reading on you was 17 and you had a depression. So it could be any time. That's just one specific time I came up with. And you could talk to yourself as a 17-year-old and ask the question of you as a 17-year-old, what's the problems? And have these conversations. And this is like a way of changing that timeline of yourself and healing from that experience. And so you could maybe go back and do this inner work and find a platform which is comfortable for you to go back to these times, And I think that'd be important for you, because this will just ground you. You'll become more complete in your body because you're doing that inner work on them and past selves. So
Yeah.
that is important. Maybe, work on the lower chakras and all. Your work on your sacral chakra and your root especially. You hold a lot of traumas in the root. So, just go into these layers of yourself, whatever comes through, and communicate with spirit, co-create with spirit, and get that level of connection, and see and have a play with it and see what comes up. Because I think once you start doing it, you'll enjoy it, and you'll see that you'll change as a person, and these delusions of yourself will go, because it's not there anymore. You've released it from them old selves. So
It is true. As soon as I go to heal my child, it's the only time where I can actually know what love is, because I can keep focused on this love, and it just keeps on growing. So it's been the pathway for me out of these illusions. But yeah, I stopped doing this work because I try to get more light into myself and go less into the traumas. But I think I'll come back to it from now and do this on a regular basis.
And just something to add would be, this a lot is to do with the mothering energy and your mum specifically, over mothering you, changing and tainting your personality. So you grew up not able to enable your personality. There was always I'd say, clip of your wings, so to call, trauma going on, to the point where it created, I'd say, such a personality, not disorder, but just a separate personality from who you were meant to be, because you had to be this certain way for her. And now it's a time to realize that you've grown up, you're an adult, and you have to now adventure away from her and learn the art of potentially even going through physical 3D psychotherapy, and going to regular sessions and working through that, as well as Bob was saying with the trauma stuff, have physical stuff alongside it as well, like going to see someone who's trained in psychotherapy, someone who can go back with you and regress you back, and you'll start to unravel some of the really trauma and stuff what happened to you. But you've got to give yourself such victory, Dennis, because you're here now. You came to the combined therapies, you're on the shows, you're doing the work, because you're making a stand. You're blowing the horn of yourself, saying, I am free now. And that's what you've got to validate in yourself, that you're free from your mum.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest influence on your personality, is the mothering energy of over-mothering you.
Do you think I should move to another place? Do you think it will affect me better?
I honestly, at some point do, but don't do it rushing, where finance, you've got to think about finance, job stability, 3D before you do that. But I definitely think that would be a great thing, because you have to move away. How far away are you from living with her?
It's like 150 kilometers. But the thing is that if they get mad because I don't answer to messages, they can come anytime. So
that's it. So yeah, so a place where they can't come and just turn up and walk in.
Yeah.
And that's what's affecting you.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, because you don't. You're on edge all the time, and that that mothered and looked after in a different way, where you mother yourself, be responsible, get yourself up, get a job, all of these 3D things, then eventually move further away so they can't just turn up. Then maybe saying to them, look, like the lady called before about telling the doctor, this is where you need to make a stand as well, and start not being spineless when you do come to telling them, look, you're invading my space. I appreciate all the great things you've done for me and all the finance you've given me. I'm not taking that for granted here. All I'm saying is that you cannot just turn up unannounced to my home. You cannot invade my privacy. This is my home, and I need to be my own adult now. And that's going to bring balancing to the ancestral lineage of your family right there. You making that stand and change. Blow the horn. Blow the Dennis horn loud. Even if it's a letter, you don't have to say it face to face. If it happens again, you have to make a stand.
Yes. Okay.
Because they've become dependent on you too, Dennis.
Yeah, I see. They're like drug addicts. So
yeah,
I mean, for me, it's kind of fun to see the traumas in myself, because I can feel the illusions coming like 10,000 times stronger when they come. So it's in a work extra, but it's just crazy when everything can just go in one instant, and I just become homeless, And so it's always in the back of my mind, it's not a problem for me because it happened in the past for a little bit, but it's just crazy to not get stability. So it's kind of just the 3D side that makes it all worse.
You need to start protecting yourself, Dennis, and all, putting that protection around you. Them projections that are coming at you, it's like you need to start just telling your body just to not take these projections on from your mum and dad, and putting that energy there, and just that's your space, and that's what you need to do.
It's like take charge of your authority.
Yeah,
bring it forward. Bring that shard forward.
Yes.
Dennis, how it's Laura here, darling. How stable is your life at the moment? You know, your physical life. Have you got a job?
Yeah, I have a job. I do Uber Eats, so I do deliveries on my bike.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just problematic when like, I don't know how I can do this for like months and months. I mean, it's not a problem for me. Like, I could do this no problem, but I keep on wondering if I should get a normal job. But I still don't know which one is better, because like I'm free, so I can like study while I do my biking. I can meditate and do whatever I want. So I'm free, but I didn't know if it's better for me to get a job and actually like find something good.
Yeah, you've been doing this one on the bike for a while, haven't you? I think you were doing it when you came to Combined.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So it might be that there's something else out there for you.
Okay.
Sounds like you're answering your own question there, Dennis.
Yes. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's search for a job. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got your own place to live, your own apartment?
Yes, exactly. Yes. So I have like I mean, I have like everything. I just like need to invest into my own healing, the role thing, and yeah, just save up money and yeah, just do what brings me joy.
Yeah, and can you the possibility of earning more money so you can afford some courses?
Yeah, I can. I mean, that's the whole point, because like, if I cannot afford courses, then I mean, there is no real point in me going on this path. So the reason why I'm still here is because I can actually take courses and actually evolve spiritually, which is the thing that actually keeps me like like just excited for life, because every day I wake up and I learn so much new stuff in the unseen, and it's starting to go into the scene. So it's really the thing that helps me.
Brilliant. Well, thank you, Dennis. We're going to have to move on to the next caller, bro. Thank you for calling in. And we'll just any last quick question before we move on to the last caller.
Oh, I wanted to know, do you guys ever do like healings to the future before going into the dream world, or if you get stuck in a hell realm that it's already like destroyed, like before you even like get
so? But I'll answer that question for you, which I already answered in the session many times. You've got to stop thinking about it.
Okay.
You've got to stop fishing into the negative dream world and all of that. You've got to be stable. You've got to do revocation, prayer, all of the stuff you know innately in you. Yes. Don't start forward future for where you're trying to make it happen, where you're saying, I'm going to go to a negative dream space. 3D life will take care of that for you.
Nice.
No longer you're going to be a master of puppets, Dennis.
Okay, yeah, for sure, yeah. Okay, thank you very much, man.
No worries, man.
Cheers, Dennis.
Thank you for calling in, Dennis.
Thank you so much. Have a nice show, guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have the last caller, Crystal. We are giving you signal to unmute.
There we go.
Hello.
Hi, Crystal.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Where are you calling from, Crystal?
I'm calling from Sarita, Arizona.
Welcome to Talking Stick. How can we help you?
Awesome. I'm a little nervous. The first few callers, I get so nervous, and a piece of me feels like at times my throat chakra is blocked, and it's been an issue that I've worked on for, I would say, about 3 or 4 years. And I just have a question. So I like to do a lot of healings, mostly on family and friends. I mean, the more and more that I've opened up as far as like doing my spiritual healings and assisting others, I also wonder when do you draw the line between understanding whether it's part of your journey or if it's just something that is gradually narcissistic attracted towards you, if that makes any sense? I feel like I've had a lot of relationships in my life, and they've been like really bad and narcissistic, but I've helped them transition in so many ways. And sometimes I always wonder, why am I drawn to these narcissistic relationships? Is it really due to assisting them, or is there something inside me that is blocked?
You answered your own question with what you're saying.
Yeah, I know. I've been zoning in a lot in it, and I was just curious.
Because you wanted to save people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just,
I feel
you just said it when you were talking. You like saving people, help them.
Yeah.
Laura, do you want to come in here? You know a lot about this.
Well, yeah, first of all, there will be some karmic journeying, no doubt, to be with a narcissist. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Absolutely. Since the very first, relationship that I ever had as a best friend, I mean, she was in a horrible narcissistic relationship. And I went through that whole journey. And from then on, they would just fall out of my life. But as I grew and grew older, I've come through so many, but I've actually learned so much from the experience. And I also, always wanted to know, am I really drawn to narcissistic people? Or am I just, one to heal the soul? And a piece and
sorry,
go ahead.
I think a while ago you completed the karma on working with narcissism, but you've chosen
doing it.
Ignore that part
and
being attracted to narcissists because you want that codependency somewhere in your field. And that's where the inner work needs to be done on getting yourself out of that. And as a sovereign being, stepping forward in your own right without needing, without the codependency that is needed in a narcissistic relationship, and working on that empathetic side. And you might have heard Andrew say about empathy being worn as a badge of courage, when really it is the lowest form of psychic ability, because it is a psychic ability that gets misused and overloaded, and you come to overload yourself with all their shit rather than focus.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I've done the work to be able to automatically notice it and hold space in my own space and not allow them to come into it. Absolutely. I've, going through the journey with Bartzis 5 years now has made me grown so much and made me understand, how to be able to see those. I always was a type of person that loved to heal people, and I've had cancer patients come into my life, and it's just amazing to see how to see them change and heal themselves, and I feel like it's part of my journey.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I've done a lot of work.
You have done a lot of work, and I'm sure these people, are really appreciative.
Oh yeah.
You've seen that, and you've seen the result of what you can do. But there's somewhere in you that is choosing a narcissistic relationship after narcissistic relationship, which means there's some part of you that is not yet healed. So you can be an amazing healer, and I'm sure you've done a lot to elevate their journey, but you've got to be careful you're not stepping into treading on other people's journeys. And you really need to pull back and focus on you, so you can get yourself to that independent woman stage where you're not drawn to that sort of person. So developing that side of you, which doesn't need the narcissism approval, which we know is only short term anyway. You could probably write a book on narcissism, but you
absolutely
to write the corresponding book that how I how I learned from narcissism to step back and take my own journey for my own healing, to take myself forward in my own, you know, sacred feminine power, if you want to put it that way. Your own potency just for you, that isn't going to be drained out by somebody else.
Absolutely.
And the bit to learn now is like, I've learned that, and now I need to move forward for me.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Crystal, what was childhood like for you when you were young, really, really young?
I mean, it was amazing. I had my parents were very hands-on, and we were filled with lots of love until our parents got divorced, me and my brother, at a young age. And I think that took the most from me. And it's been a lot of work to work on that. But I feel like I've grown from it, and I've learned from the experience.
So there's a personality dysfunction going on with you right now.
Yeah, I feel it.
Where there's a program running you with words saying that I've done this, everything's fine, and so on. So it's going to be very important that you go through some sort of childhood specialist, trauma specialist, going to the part where the divorce caused you to split yourself in parts, where the traumatized you much more than than this part of you is saying. Then there's going to be
absolutely. I mean, there was times where when my parents got divorced, I didn't speak to my dad for like I want to say 11 years, and we had the best relationship. Well, I've come just recently to go and spend time with him and finally have that, relationship, and it healed so much of my journey, going through that. I felt like I moved on a lot, but now as I'm speaking, and when you caught me on those words, it was like the first thing that came on. It was like an automatically like stopped me in my tracks. I have not shed a tear from it or anything. So it was really weird when you mentioned that. I could hear it in my voice, like a stumble of words, I could feel like the struggle of not being able to speak. But like I said earlier, it's also been a huge journey for me to be able to heal the throat chakra. And when I get nervous, I start to stumble on my words and stuff like that.
So as well, I highly recommend you take. So what do you do for like clearing out your body and purifying your body?
Oh my gosh, I do a lot.
So this again is because there is something external working with you, and something you need to be aware of what's taking out your energy.
Okay.
So this.
Are you meaning? Oh, go ahead.
So this calls for, especially on your feet, your right toe, there's a real nasty portal opening to something where you can close it. So I would highly recommend to start having salt foot baths and start maybe sage, loads of Himalayan salt, start putting loads of salt on your feet and closing portals down, because innately this personality and program inside you kicks you out the body, and you having these internal coming in around you, and you have to start dealing with the trauma and know that you were traumatized. And I can hear it in the voice when you talk.
I can hear it myself. Like it's completely shut out.
Yes, because your personality is like a separate personality you've created. I'm not saying you've got split personality, you don't, but I'm just saying this is the nature of the trauma here, and this is the nature of you getting the right help, going see psychotherapist, someone who who can take time with it. This isn't going to be an instant fix of coming on here. You've got to do this. You've got to go through it for at least a year, maybe two, back to back to see a psychotherapist. Then you'll start going to the deep trauma in about 8 months, 7 months, and understanding what happened. And you need someone to help you and guide you through it as well.
I have a question. So I actually went to a healer, and it was the very first time that I ever understood what cords were. And I remember during the session, she had me physically have a selenite wand, and she told me to cut cords, which later on I found out was probably not the best thing to do at the time. And when she went into the beginning of the healing, she literally said, on the right side at the end of my feet was a dark image of a man.
Yes.
She said that he was further away, he was not around, but there was trauma that existed or that I went through in my 20s.
So the entity's been around you since you were, I'd say 14 years old. It's been around you for a long time, and it's stuck. Yeah.
Okay.
So go ahead.
No, you're fine. I have a little bit of a delay, so sorry.
So this requires you to make a change now. Go book some psychotherapy sessions with someone you can go there for at least a year, maybe two, start resolving some of the childhood stuff, what went on. Body work's going to be important for you. Myofascia myofascia or rolfing, something what can start rolfing and clearing the trauma out of you slowly, because it's all in there as memory as well. Then when you start going through that stage, start taking spiritual hygiene on a deeper level, where you're
yeah, absolutely.
Are you familiar with
the Oh yes, I'm very familiar, and I have probably about 20 of them recorded. So yes.
Are you familiar with the revocations?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So start doing those. Start doing regular footwork. Maybe going to like float tanks would be great for you. Salt, and start going through the process of going back to that trauma, unravel it out of you memory wise. And yeah, anybody else want to add anything here?
Yeah, just a quick one, Crystal. So do you know when you said about your dad and you didn't speak to him for years?
Mm-hmm.
What I'm picking up is it was abandonment issues. That's what it is. It's
absolutely. You nailed it. And I mean, I've done the work. It's so crazy. Like I've done a lot of work, and it was completely abandonment. We had no reason to stop talking. We just completely fell off the planet, and he went his life and I went my life, and I went through my whole journey. And I would always, have that conversation, of trying to heal and everything. And I remember people would say his name and I would just instantly start crying. And the moment you said that, I felt like I've healed myself through that journey. But recently, childhood has came up, literally recently. And when you mentioned how is that, the first thing that came to my head was my dad. And I was like, wow, I just felt like I healed that. I literally spent a weekend with my dad, and come to find out, my stepmom had asked me, my dad wasn't present, but she had asked me, what happened? And I looked, she literally had tears in her eyes, and I was able to look into her eyes with with no hurt, no healed, feeling of nothing happened. We had no reason to stop talking, and I felt like I had done the work, and I felt good about it, what mattered at that moment was that I was there, and I felt like we can move past it with no hurt. But the tears in her eyes and everything, I was surprised I didn't break down and cry myself. So I felt like I had moved on from it. But the moment that Dale had asked me that question was a flashback of instant. So absolutely, definitely have to do some work on that.
And that's how strong the personality is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much part of you now. And this is why it's going to be so important for you to go through years and years of therapy. Take your time with it, get help. It's not going to be a quick fix for you. It's about taking your time.
Absolutely not. It took me 5 years.
There we go. And knowing you can do it, smiling,
absolutely.
Knowing you've got it. Yeah. Amy, Laura, is there anything else you want to add here?
Yeah.
Amy?
Yeah. Going back to the beginning, when you were talking about you're attracted to narcissists, to me, what came to me was to ask you a question of what is the benefit? What do you get from that, from those types of people? Because once you know, even if perceived basis, what is the perceived benefit that you get?
Well, I think whenever I was in high school, my sophomore to my senior year, I had a best friend, and she obviously had a narcissistic, I mean, he tried running her over many times. Like, it was pretty like bad. I can't believe as a child I went through something like that, you know? And I would just feel the hurt in them, and like, I mean, gosh, it was just so sad that somebody can go through so much traumatic, you know, abusement and still be okay with it. And I think that stuck with me my entire life. And I met another friend, and same thing. She went through an abusement, like traumatic relationship with her husband, mind you, like 3 husbands. So it was shocking to me to understand that I could see the pattern, obviously. But honestly, I never had those issues as far as growing up as a child or anything like that. Like, my parents were like amazing parents. Everything was perfect until they got a divorce, you know, and that my mom and my dad were always present. I mean, my best life was when I was a kid, you know. So it's really hard to see that I'm attracted to that. But also, I feel like a therapist towards them. And I feel like when I'm in that zone, like, I feel like I can speak clearly, and I'm healing and I'm helping, and, you know, I can help them relate, because I was literally not only, you know, I wasn't in the relationship, but I was there physically to know what my best friend went through at the time, you know, being in that narcissistic. And I always said, never again. You know, I have strong roots as far as like, you know, that don't exist in my life, you know. So it's a good, I'm not, go ahead. Sorry.
So when you said divorced, your parents got divorced, it's almost as if your reality broke. Your perfect reality was broken.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what have you done about that?
Oh, gosh.
Because it's still broken.
Yeah, I felt it. Like, I felt so at peace with it. But the moment that Dale mentioned my past, you know, it just all came forward. Like, I felt it, like as if I never even touched on base on it, which is kind of crazy. I can hear it in my own voice. Like, I'm almost like stumbling on everything I'm saying right now. But
so just go inner. To me, you really need to be truthful with yourself inside. You don't need to tell us, but start being really truthful about this perfect childhood. Just think about that perfect childhood. Nobody really has a perfect childhood. There's always something. There's always something. And maybe we push it down, we suppress it.
Absolutely.
So that, to me, just you know, contemplate on that. Write down what was perfect. Maybe the non-perfect will come out.
Well, I think the abandonment issue is what came in, and it just settled in, and it made its way in. And for the longest time, I mean, I didn't fully awaken until 5 years ago, and I was able to like see all the patterns and see what narcissistic was and all of that. And I was just like blown by it, you know. It took me a long time to be able to heal my relationship with my father. And like I said, it's like nothing ever happened, but I know the abandonment issue has stuck in there. And it's just weird to me that Dale was able to see the same thing that the healer had saw in me. And I'm curious if that is the specific thing that is blocking me from seeing any of my...
I highly recommend you to find somebody who does sweat lodges.
Okay, yeah.
Start going to sweat lodges regularly. That'll be the best thing for you spiritually, to purge yourself.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really
I mean, it's
beneficial.
interesting because I felt like it wasn't around. Like, you know, whoever the man is or what it is, like I felt like he's clear away from me, you know, but it's crazy that you pinpointed on that, and it makes me wonder a lot of things.
Yes, but don't go into fear about it.
Oh,
Just,
no, not
yeah,
absolutely. You know, it took me a long time to understand. I mean, like I said, I've been listening to Bartzis for like 5 years now. And let me tell you, my journey has been fast, but I love it. And I've learned so many things from it.
yes. So,
Yeah.
like the advice Amy gave, Laura gave, Bob gave,
Yeah, something to definitely sit
listen
down
back to
and
all
think
of the
about.
advice there, then go seek that help and go through a while of going through psychotherapy sessions, body work, myofascia, start getting the trauma out of the body physically, then
Okay.
regularly going to see someone who holds sweat lodges, using salt to start just purifying some of the stress from your body, and start going for that journey day by day, strength by strength. Blow your
I
horn. It's
do
time to
do.
blow your horn.
Yeah.
But again,
I
you
do
don't
do.
that this is the
Sorry.
thing, the personality in you is taking over and saying I do, but it's just not the right do at the moment. But it's fine. You're going to find the right do. You've come on here, and we've got a panel full of incredible healers who can help you.
Yeah.
So it's
And
about you list. Sorry, Amy, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So it's about you listening as well, like listening to people. Like, so as I'm speaking, your personality jumped in front of me and started talking over me. And this is not, this is just what it does. It's fine. I'm not, everything's okay. But it's just recognizing when the personality overrides you and completely makes you shout or makes you talk really loud and so on.
And one thing I'll leave you with, Crystal, is there seems to be an activation that needs to happen. It's like you have these cobwebbed areas
Yeah,
that
I feel it.
need to wake up again because you've put them to sleep in a way, and they're unattended, and you're not attending to them, and they're very inactive. So that's my advice, is just to, activate them again and see what they are, see what these cobwebs are all over your body. They're somewhere, and just take them in your hand, and you and your divine self just look at the cobweb and say, what is this? And don't try to figure it out. Just go with what comes naturally to you and swipe through them as a way of cleaning out. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So thank you so much. So we're at the end of the show now. So thank you so much for calling in. Give us a call on the show in a few months' time, see where you're at.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I appreciate your help. Thank you all.
Thank you, Crystal.
You take care now. Great talking to you.
Thank you.
So we are at the end of the show. If you are watching Rumble, YouTube, wherever you're watching, please drop a subscribe, a like. We appreciate the support. So Amy, how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. You can join David Ellis and I. We have a social platform, UCM Community, and you can join that at community.universalcitizentv.com. We have free resources, we have meditations, we have documents and AI tools and software for building your business and website. And we do offer live certified courses, which we will be doing something this fall. Not sure what yet. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amy. Laura Massey, are you there?
She's frozen. I think
she's frozen in time.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I believe she's frozen, Laura. Yeah, she has. So yeah, if you'd like, here she is. She's going to come through. Laura hiding Massey's here.
I'm frozen online. Hi. So if you'd like to get hold of me, I'm Laura 2feathers with the number 2 at gmail.com. I'm a qualified counsellor and hypnotherapist. If you'd like to have a session with me or learn about self-empowerment using shamanic practices or connect to your ancestors. Great show, guys. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Laura. And if anybody would like a psychic surgery session with myself, I'm now offering Bears Dreaming Lodge psychic surgery. So if you'd like me to take you on a journey to the Bears Dreaming Lodge, of looking in your own inner introspection, looking within yourself and allowing truth to be seen, truth to be heard in the lodge, as well as having psychic surgery. So if you're suffering depression, sadness, anger, worry, book a psychic surgery session and let's get into it. So thank you everyone for watching. We love you.
Yeah.
Good night and thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.